I don't think she's as fat as everybody else thought.
Oh, jeez. This is rough.
What is up? We have a C10 update here for you guys. Last time you saw this truck, we were scanning the whole rear end so we could get ready for the pushrod suspension. This week, we're gonna start out by finishing all of the scan work. We're gonna get the whole front side of the truck scanned so we can get all that data over to JC to make us our custom billet rocker arms. We also got the truck on some scales so we could figure out the curb weight, get that info over to KW so we get the correct spring rate for our coilovers. While we're waiting for KW to send us out our new coilovers, I say we take one last rip in it. We got a whole lot of work to do, so let's get to cracking.
Everybody at the shop is hard at work, so they sent me over to come check out JC's shop. If you're looking for custom CNC billet parts, JC's the guy to talk to.
Hey guys, what's going on? We're making some rocker arms for your suspension on the S2S lift. So this giant spaceship is a vertical milling machine, CNC machine. CNC stands for computer numerical control. It's all computerized. You can literally make anything you want on this thing. So this is a aerospace grade T6 6061, and that's generally what I make a lot of things out of. So when you cut it, it's super strong. It's a nice cut, it's not gummy. You get awesome tool marks on it, it's pretty badass. This is all the code that the machine reads. So basically, if you remember back when you're in high school, you had to learn geometry. You've probably heard of the Cartesian coordinate system, the XYZ, and you're like, what do I ever use this for in life? Well, this is what you use it for. If you don't do anything else in school, learn math. I have everything pretty much ready to go for the first operation. I got the program loaded. I got the tools in the machine. We're ready to go. We got all of operation 1 done. Take a look at the parts. So now we are on to the second operation. So I'm gonna cut the pocket in these jaws. Watch how good this thing fits. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Like butter! So now I'm gonna cut the slag off and then I'll face it. Second op is done, the bearings are concentric, everything's looking good, so now we need to set up and do the slots on the sides. Let's run them out. All right guys, the last one is running right now, running the slots for the Heims in. Everything's done, so I'm gonna wrap this up and I'm gonna head back to S2S shop.
Holy crap, we have billet parts. Look at all these rocker arms, guys. These things are amazing. Before SEMA, we talked about doing a pushrod suspension. Obviously, that didn't happen. We did a standard suspension. KW coilover setup, pretty much standard. What this is creating is what's called unsprung weight. Anything outside of this pivot point where all the suspension is all this weight. For a race vehicle, you want all your weight to be as far inboard on the chassis as possible. Now, on a pushrod setup, this entire coilover is going to be moved from here to here. Now, this is our base plate that JC made for us. Got a little nice S2S logo on it. Now, this is going to be probably welded right there. We're gonna make a new plate that's gonna attach this to this point, and then our rocker arm, this guy right here, and it's gonna go like this. Now this bearing here is what this is gonna pivot on. So over here we have our base plate for our coilovers to attach to. We have our coilover, which is this little doodad drawing here, and then we have our rocker. And then they have the push rod right here. A Heim is gonna attach to it, a Heim joint, and then this is your wheel. So as the suspension articulates, this push rod is going to come up. This actual rocker arm is then going to articulate this way, and then the spring is going to compress and decompress. What we're doing is we're moving the load from here to here, but it's a lot more efficient because now you just have a chromoly rod here as opposed to entire coilover assembly. But there's some math that goes along with this. So obviously the coilovers that we have on there are not gonna work. We need to increase the spring rate and we also need a different length. So the next thing we have to do, guys, is we have to get this truck on the actual scales and see how much it weighs. So then we can take that math and send it over to KW and get our new coilovers made. I forgot to mention, if you notice, we have a lot of rocker arms. We have a complete set for the truck, But we also have another complete set. This is going to be a prototype set, and we're going to be creating these so you can put them on your builds at home. A lot of you guys like the stuff we do, so we might start building some parts for you. Comment below in the comment section if you want to run a pushrod suspension on your classic hot rod. Otherwise, we'll just keep this for another build.
The time is here. Finally figure out what this thing weighs. Y'all been trying to guess. Just on the front side, we got a total of 2298, so almost 2,300 pounds just in the front. You got front left is 11,034, front right is 11,065. Huh?
1,100?
Did I say 11,000?
Sure did.
I meant 1,100. I'm gonna have another cup of coffee and we're gonna get to the back. $46.95-ish.
$46.95?
Yep.
You know, 6,000 pounds? That's really light for an electric car.
What did Tesla's weigh?
I think a Model S is like 6 and change.
Yeah. Okay.
I told you.
Well, that means with me in it, it's 4,900 pounds.
49?
And I'm the fattest one at the shop. The driver's front is the heaviest,
That makes sense to me.
27%.
It's called weight jacking. When the suspension's not level, not set, that's where scales come in. You can actually put the weight of the vehicle where you want it. Right now, we're the heaviest at the front left. So if you raised it up, you start shifting weight to the back, then you're removing that weight out of the front of the vehicle and bringing it to the rear, and vice versa. Oh, that's how NASCAR does it. Like when going around roundy round, when you see the car going down the pits, it looks like it's broken. But once it's under load on the track, everything's where it needs to be. Our biggest advantage right now over like any other car you would normally scale is the fact that we use the full-size battery pack. It's putting all the weight down low. And we have a full drive unit in the front and a full drive unit in the rear, so it's balancing out
Right.
even more. I had this in my mind the whole time.
Tim had a plan. I don't think she's as fat as everybody else thought. We got the weight of the truck sent over to KW so they could get us the right coilovers. While we're waiting for all that stuff to come in, we're gonna go ahead and take a spin in the truck so we can explain to you guys just what's wrong with it and why we're redoing the suspension.
Why is the mic riding with you for this?
Because he doesn't want to break his back inside this thing.
Well, we figured it'd be a good time, since we're about to do the pushrod suspension, show you what Rich Rebuild's experienced, what Mike and Andrew has been experiencing since Sonoma, California, all over the United States. Now, this isn't because KW made a bad suspension. It's because we kind of had to do what we had to do in order to get this thing to Vegas. It worked for what it was. So the pushrod suspension is going to be able to get us where we need to be as far as like drivability goes, and still looking really low and really cool. This takes a long time to develop these types of vehicles. We're gonna go for a quick spin. This will be our last hurrah with the pounded coilovers before we put our push rods in, and I can already tell this is rough. Holy crap. We got seatbelts, right?
Nope.
Sweet.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're in a box at the shop, but it's all right.
I mean, the road's pretty flat here, so it's not so bad. But wow, you can feel everything. Oh, jeez. Feels like I'm in my old Honda days. Most of the roads in Florida, if you have a lowered car, you're pretty good to go because the roads are really flat. Everything's usually not a really big deal. But yeah, the ride is pretty bad. We're gonna try and get this thing dialed in for you guys and be able to get to the track. But I think it's close, pretty close, right? Optimistic?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dear Lord. Oh, but look at that DeLorean though. Hey girl, I didn't forget about you. My back is killing me. Even more motivation to get the pushrod suspension done. We got the scaling of the truck done. We got our weights in. We know exactly what weight we are in each corner of the truck. We have that data over at KW right now. We also have the lengths and the measurements for the pushrod. So we're waiting for KW to get back to us. In the meantime, guys, we have a ton of content coming up. We have the Chevelle twin turbo build for SEMA this year. We're gonna be doing some headers, finishing up the exhaust on this guy, doing a lot of titanium charge piping. We have a lot of really heavy fabrication content coming soon for you guys on the Chevelle. Andrew's gonna be pumping on our monster truck. We're gonna finishing up our junkyard LS build. This thing's gonna be super sweet. I can't wait to take this thing off-roading. And also, Lagringa's back in the shop. We haven't really highlighted this truck a lot, but this was like an old favorite of, I know Kyle's. He's super obsessed with this truck. We're going to be showcasing a little bit more of this truck in the future. It's just a real budget build. And also, we're not forgetting about the DeLorean. The DeLorean's going to be doing a first startup very soon. Andrew's going through the Haltech Nexus R5 system, getting all the wiring done. We also have some other stuff we have to do with the intake manifold to get that all dialed in. But a startup on the DeLorean, and we're gonna get that thing on the rollers and see how much horsepower it's gonna make as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
And yes, it's dirty because I use it. We're gonna let her rip, tater chip.
I can't stand it.